Hello, everyone. I would like to give you today a little, not an excerpt, but preview of a short story I was writing. I thought this dream that I had was pretty interesting. I wanted to see if I could put into words exactly how this felt in my mind. It was a very odd dream. You know, you have one of those things where everything is very bizarre, but because you're in a dream, it seems absolutely normal and rational and perfect. So there's a couple pages, and I'll leave you guys with a cliffhanger. And let me know if you like it and you would like me to continue, maybe making videos with it or continue it like an ebook or something. Just leave your comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for me. Thanks, guys. It's called The Tree. The tree may have stayed for an eternity if it wasn't for the Miss's incessant nagging over its drab appearance. Even so, the tree enjoyed a good 8 more seasons before he got around to making a real effort at removing it. It wasn't just laziness or busyness preventing the work being done. It was the pervading sense of just how wrong it felt to remove this particular tree. In previous years, it seemed to be more than just strong or vibrant. It eschewed virility and sturdiness. Other trees and shrubbery had been added and subtracted over the years, uh, and no other gave him any emotion whatsoever. But the thought of taking that one out made his stomach plummet. Despite the unnerving queasiness he had when staring at it now, quite the opposite of the strength he felt before, his wife's shrewish diatribes won over in the end. With tools in his hand, he mightily put his 70-odd years wholly into the work. In the beginning, the arbor of branches was almost too big to measure. Its height was half again taller than their 2-story house, which had an ample attic as well, and its width at the broadest branches more than 2 vehicles parked end to end. The trunk itself could not be hugged by even the tallest tree hugger, rather requiring 2 persons reaching around it to brush fingertips. He knew its size was only a factor in extending the length of his project. It would still fall, even if only in pieces. Branch by wickedly solid branch, the tree was ablated and weakened. Day by humidly loathsome day, the silhouette grew shorter and slimmer. Friends and neighbors collected as much free firewood as their trucks could carry, and he still had a respectable heap for their own upcoming winter. Finally, 2 feet of trunk alone stood above the topsoil, mocking his work and asking, nay, daring him to continue the toil. He first wrapped solidly coiled chain and attempted to pull it aside with the neighbor's work truck. The wood made a loud groan, but moved nary an inch. He then started a chainsaw, intending to vertically cut down into the trunk, shearing it into quarters that would be hopefully more manageable. The saw teeth bit into the softer inside rings of wood, went in a thimble depth, and promptly broke each and every tooth from the powerful tool. Knowing something peculiar was about, he changed his course. With a spade, he traced the long and furrowed root structure and dug down around them as far out from the trunk as he was able. As he stepped back, he spied just how exceptionally aberrant this stalk rightly was. Upon the earth now stood a perfect pentagonal star, the largest roots radiating and forming the base interior of each arm, with smaller radiating roots overlapping at their intersections, forming a clear diagram of a configuration so pure it was absurd to imagine that nature had created it at all. Indeed, the beauty and astonishing features of nature comes from the imperfections we see within her, much unlike this. He continued to clear dirt and years of thatch from around the trunk, revealing a more elaborate pentagram design with every shovelful of debris he removed. Finally, he felt satisfied. He saw the star, and its smaller roots appeared as intricate as any lace or openwork filigree that any artisan could have made. Walking around the trunk a few times and appreciating this random work of art, his wife's complaints echoed in his mind. As gorgeous as he believed it was, she would still want this job done. He sighed at its loss, but hefted his largest axe and swung with all his might. When metal met wood, neither one gave in at all. It created a painful, reverberating shock down his arms. Few heartbeats after the shock, a cracking sound began. Small cracks, like small popcorn kernels, led into a louder zipper sound. All of the crackling ended in a single resounding thunk, resembling the slow split of a scantling. His heart pounded within him as he rounded the bowl again and saw an immensely black hole where before there was none. It seemed sunlight wouldn't penetrate beyond the entrance. No details inside could be perceived. He couldn't even guess at the depth from his visual perspective, but logic told him this hole could not go very deeply into the trunk, as it was less than 4 feet in diameter anyway. Perplexed, he stood up and stretched in the warm shafts of deep crimson sunset, blinking watery eyes into the arc of sun that remained. It could be that things may look different in the morning. A good night's sleep can make a world of difference when one is exhausted. He kissed his wife on the forehead as he tucked in beside her, drifting swiftly off to a blurred flurry of color and sound, vigorous enough to rival any drug-addled hallucination. So I'm going to stop there before he wakes up for the next day and begins to explore this bizarre, dark thing. Hopefully, the way that it appeared in my dream makes it at least interesting to you. I mean, it's a boring thing of a guy cutting down a tree, but let me know what you think. I hopefully made it a little more interesting than some boring errand that someone's just doing on their farmland or whatever. So thanks for listening, you guys. Giving me a couple minutes of your day, and have a good one.